video MIS Chapter 1, Part 3. So at this point, we'll talk about systems investigation and analysis. So it's actually the systems design and analysis piece. So there's just a few pages, kind of a blurb about systems design. Now, this provides a really structured analysis to taking a look at, or this process. Okay, this process is a structured analysis which takes a look at, enables you to develop a strategy for taking a look at, I think that's probably better said. It is a strategy for enabling you to take a look at your information system. Determine how the current system is working. Determine if you need to make any upgrades or changes or workflow issues, to fix workflow issues, and to design and maintain those changes. Okay, so systems investigation, as it discusses at this point, the goal of systems investigation is to gain clear understanding of the problem to be solved or opportunity to be addressed. So I think a problem to be solved, you might consider in some sites, what if that particular site isn't bringing up database information in a timely manner? And because it's not timely, it just sort of sits and spins, that many of your customers are moving on to other sites. Okay, so that might be a problem that you need to solve, and a systems investigation is actually going to initially take a look at that problem or initially identify that problem. Systems analysis defines the problems and opportunities of the existing systems. Lots of times you'll see the analysis and investigation phases put together. In this particular text, it breaks them apart. So the investigation understands the problem. The analysis goes a step further and defines the problem and opportunities. It says opportunities, so it just doesn't have to be a problem. What if your system is running very well? And again, going back to that particular kind of example where you go in and you want your system is actually in the initial problem defined. That particular system is running slowly, so your customers they're not satisfied with your site, and they move on because they can't enter the information and get the product that they want. Now, what if your site is running very well? However, you're going to open up a new market, or you want to open up a new market on the East Coast, and you feel that you're going to have 50% more business because of that interest in that particular market or that particular demographic. And your product is not only covering 20-somethings, but now it's going to market towards 30-somethings. Now, that's an opportunity. So in this case, we're going to understand that there's an opportunity there through the systems investigation. And then through the systems analysis, we're going to define that opportunity. Now, when we design for that opportunity, the systems design phase determines how new systems will work to meet business needs defined during systems analysis. So we need to ratchet up the ability of our system to work with and take orders and get products out. The design phase is going to determine how to do that. Do you add more server storage, more processor time? Do you open up new distribution centers, new routes? Do you now use an East Coast parcel deliverer rather than UPS or FedEx or something local? Okay, so how do you do this, and how does the information system work with that? Now, the next phase is systems implementation. So acquiring various system components defined in the design step, assembling them and putting the new system into operation. So you're actually going to build this system at that point in time. The design phase, essentially paper and pencil. You're going to design what that new system needs to be, and implementation, you're going to build the system. Now, the very end of this is the systems maintenance and review. So once that system is in place, you're going to go ahead and see that it's running correctly, that it's running efficiently, that it's scalable, meaning that it can grow with the amount of business that you're getting. And you're going to review that. Now, if we look on the right, we have the systems investigation, then we have these little arrows that are feedback. Well, now this particular kind of structured analysis is fairly rigid. It's more so rigid than not. There are other methods that allow for feedback within each one of these steps. The picture, as it shows us, is we complete the investigation. If we see any issues with that, then we go ahead and reinvestigate. If the investigation looks okay, we understand the problems, we go in and define the problems in the systems analysis phase. Now, if there's some problem with that definition, we can go back to either one of these phases and redo them. So it's a structured approach. You do this, do that, you do the next thing. Investigation, analysis, design. Now, it is a little concrete in nature, though. So I'm given it's a little inflexible. There are other methods, such as an agile method, which really allows for feedback within each one of the steps, which is probably what people will use typically. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to being able to say, if you're halfway through the systems analysis phase, if you see a problem, to go back to the beginning of that phase again. The advantage is that you can correct all problems. The disadvantage is you can correct all problems. If you correct all problems, you may never get to a point where you can actually move on. So it depends upon the particular analysis, the particular kind of information system, and how far you want to go to ensure that all the problems are worked out. So does that make sense? I think that does. It should. In the design and implementation phases, they're the very same. What this is saying, you complete the design, and then you look at it as a whole. Agile methods might look at part of it and provide feedback and make changes throughout. So again, there are advantages and disadvantages within each one of these different kinds of structured analysis and design models. And then you have maintenance and review. Now at the very bottom of our screen here, what we're saying is that you start, once your system has been investigated, analyzed, designed, and implemented, and then maybe you will be running out there in production for 4, 5, 6 years, that at the point in time, you'll have to go back over and start the whole process again. So that's the systems investigation and analysis SDLC model. Now, this is just sort of an aside. Technical acceptance model that specifies the factors that can lead to better attitudes about the information system. Technology diffusion, a measure of how widely technology is spread throughout an organization. And then technology infusion, extent to which the technology permeates a department. Okay, so with technology infusion in our CT, Computer Technology Department on campus, you can imagine that that technology permeates our department. However, in English, what do you think? Does technology permeate the English department? Maybe so, maybe not. Now, as far as technology diffusion is concerned, measure of how widely technology is spread throughout an organization. Technology to some extent is spread throughout Helena College. However, the infusion of it into certain departments is greater with some and less with others. Technology acceptance specifies factors that can lead to better attitudes about the information system. Oftentimes, younger people will be more accepting of technology in any form. Oftentimes, older people are a little bit less accepting of technology in any form. It's just a cultural issue. It's something that changes. Professors who have taught the same way for 20 years will be a little bit less likely to accept technology in the classroom. Brand new instructors and younger will probably be a little bit more likely to accept technology in the classroom. Now, competitive advantage. At this point, I'm going to stop this. This is part 3. I'm going to stop this video at this point, and then we will talk about competitive advantage after that.